Question number 9, Jacqui Dean.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Conservation and asks, what advice has he received about the impacts of pests on our native birds, particularly kiwi, and how will a beech mast this year affect these birds' survival?
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I'm advised by DOC and land care ecologists that rats, stoats and possums kill 25 million native birds a year. That's like having a Rena disaster which killed 2,000 every hour. I am further advised that pests are reducing our kiwi numbers by 3% each year and will not exist in the wild for our grandchildren without additional pest control. This year's beech mast makes it even more urgent that we address this problem. It occurs about once every 15 years and will result this autumn in the dropping of about 1 million tonnes of seed that will then spark a plague of 30 million rats and about a further 50,000 stoats. The problem will be in spring when the beech seeds germinate and that the rats and stoats turn on our native birds. The last case we had a widespread mast was in 2000, and that led to the loss of the mohua, which is on our $100 note, disappearing in Marlborough Sounds.
Supplementary question, Jacqui Dean.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. How many hectares of conservation land are covered by the Battle for Our Birds program, and how does this compare with historic levels of pest control?
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, this program provides for an additional 500,000 hectares of extra pest control this year, as well as ramping up our year-on-year pest control by 50,000 hectares per year for each of the next 5 years. So, Mr Speaker, last year we did 150,000 hectares. That's been about the same for the last decade. This year, DOC will do 700,000 hectares. On top of this, TB Free New Zealand does about 300,000 hectares per year, meaning that this year we'll do about 1 million hectares. Another way to put this is that we're moving from 5% of public conservation land having protection for native species from rats, stoats and possums, and lifting that from 5% to 12%.
Supplementary question, Jacqui Dean.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. What are the improvements in 1080 that has enabled the Department to reduce poisoned bait application rates from 30 grams per hectare to 1 kg per 30 kilograms, per hectare to 1 kilogram per hectare?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, firstly, there has been the technology around pre-feeding of unpoisoned bait that has meant the amount of poison that's been used has been able to be very significantly reduced. Secondly, the use of helicopters with GPS rather than fixed-wing aircraft means that we're able to be far more accurate with the distribution. There's also been big improvements in the quality of the bait, ensuring that there are no crumbs or fragments that could add to bykill of birds, and in the use of different types of baits. So even though we are more than doubling the area of coverage for 1080 use, this program does not involve record use of 1080.
Question number 10, Denise Roach.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.